man, I be flying just to serve. Look, I'ma tell you right now, baby, you a diamond in the dirt. You ain't really have to leave when I was just trying to make it work. You don't really have to change, baby, but the line made it work. Yeah. Keep lying to me when you're in front of me. Need Morpheus glasses to cover me, but I ain't with all of the factory. Can you tell me why you don't wanna come with me? You ain't gotta tell me that you in love with me, cause girl, I already know that. Got me thinking about the past like a retrograde. I don't wanna go back. I've been through all the fire. I get tired walking where you can get your soul smashed. Right into the wheels, fall off, but getting flattened. I don't need no jack. You so know to get my nose back. You into the details, you can see it be pimple. Yeah, life is a deep well, why you being so simple? Yeah. Cause there's a few details when you be in a limbo, but you getting derailed when you deep in your mental, blowing the trees out the window. Got the breeze just blowing my hair back. I'm in a relationship with the atmosphere and I want my air back. Looking at negative energy like esoteric clothing, no wear that. Like a fucking head up, get your mind fuck, I'd rather go bareback. But baby, I don't got a condom. Got me thinking this a truth or dare trap. I ain't a Libra, but I'm trying to find me some balance. I hope you a fair match. I spotted you in the crowd, I was like, yeah. Take a little star. Yeah. Like so far. Yeah. Wherever you go. Yeah. You can't hide. It's far. Don't really like how it just turned out to, you know. Feel like I see from a bird's eye view. Follow the pilot you heard, I feel. You know it's getting hot, you burned my goose. I'm really not into the text of a girl on the scene in a second. Ho, no Santa Claus, but I'ma give you a present. You've been saying that you're comfortable, but why you living so desperate? You should only want the Pilotman, not the dusty nigga be stressing. But life's gonna give you a lesson. It ain't all time, but we all try. You better just leave it a little deep in the sky time when we are not. Gonna be spinning till it turn to summer, then fall time, cause they are not. Our ginger urea and got us lean to the all fly through a night sky. You be thinking too smart, need a broad mind. Super thought I got the recipe. And you talking about something long in my pants, yeah, I got the jeopardy. Got the best of you and you got the best of me. We headed somewhere in the stars, we can't go nowhere in the car. Cause up in the air that we are, yeah.
Bitch. Oh, for that. And we'll talk about some good energy, just talk some good knowledge so everybody can understand what's going on in reality. You know what I'm saying? Thanks so much for the Cashapp seller. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Now look, check this out. If anybody get lost, we're gonna substantiate some things. We're gonna make it make sense. We're gonna move on in our life. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna move on in our life. But guess what? Life look better. life only get better. It don't get worse, it get better. You know what I'm saying? So you be able to substantiate your mind the right way and be like, oh, okay. You know, I was like, okay. And now your ass all right. So we here to help each other clean up each other's yard. We be having a lot of trash in each other's yard. We be plucking the trash over there. I be having a you pierce through reality when you know what I'm saying? So you be like up, left, you know what I'm saying, forward, you know what I'm saying? You know, forward, root chakra, you know what I'm saying, or what, left, Mercury thinking, you know what I'm saying? Generalize something, whatever the case may be over. Then you got, goddamn it, Kether. But then you go on this side, oh shit, this like right, down, you know what I'm saying, back. You be looking at these things, and we taught these people these things extensively. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, oh, that's how you gain attraction. Oh, that's how you turn it to some mathematical thing or whatever the case is. Like mathematic. So it's a lot of fraudness that we see today because it's too much syntheticness that people can't do these things themselves. Like if you can't plant a seed yourself, you don't know nothing about no Sephiroth. You have to sit down. You can't use no Sephiroth to bend in and become a well-oiled running machine mentally and physically. You don't know nothing about no Sephiroth. You just reading stuff about books. Some books. You don't know where the knowledge came from. Well, I said, you don't know what politicians trying to do. You don't know what a president trying to do. They're cosplay a Native American bitch. Turn into some mathematic. Mathematic shit. I said, shit. You got good qualities. You got good character peeping. You know what I'm saying? You know what somebody get ready to do before they do it. Somebody start thinking like, how do you know what I was going to do before I do? Because you a mental illness. You know, so you got a mental patient, mental brain. Well, so you got a nut stained pineal gland or whatever. That's why. Now, if I want to give you some idea, and you was in this pocket right here, you moved over here to this pocket. This pocket means that don't mean you get to create no some mathematical shit you still can't do today with feet hurt energy. None of that. None of that. You got to peep games. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. You don't get to tap dance around yourself real good, be in a shadow because you can't dance. Come outside and dance. I said real shit. Don't stand behind closed doors because you can't dance. So we got peep gay. You know what I'm saying? But getting into the whole establishment of what it means to be a voodoo doll, who practiced being a voodoo doll first on themselves, and just start doing it on everybody else after a while and stuff like that. But it's always going to be whoever created the seed themselves, so you would go there yourself. So we're going to separate that too. You know what I'm saying? Before we get lost into something and be like, oh, I learned mathematically how to do something real good. Do that mean I'm going to heaven? No. You know, mathematical, that's synthetic mathematics. So I say you gotta have like the food for thought, spiritual quality where you know get it, like you get it taken, you can do it again. You got to be the one who got the coat. You can't be the one to just make a coat and stuff, would make everybody else pick stuff from the gardens and stuff like that and make coats with it. And if they don't, scalp them and they skin and make a coat. You know, I said, nah, we want to figure out natural ways to make a coat. There's already a coat in nature. Coats grow like trees now. Start doing shit like that. I said, real shit. Coats start growing off trees and shit. All kind of other shit. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? We got to make light of everything too because, you know, y'all get too lost in English terms and the meanings behind it. So it be seeds that's planted that spark off and germinate and grow as fruit fillings that really y'all ain't even supposed to be eating like low key. Like it's like weird fruit be getting sold. Y'all be buying bullshit. They be selling y'all dreams. It be crazy. It's like, y'all ain't here. You got to be a foreigner. So like that's how I had to start thinking after a while because I always try to bring y'all to this world. Like this is the natural world. Why y'all don't see the natural world yet? And like, but we get to that shift now. Everybody waking up now. Like it ain't a lot of shit you can get away with in the spiritual world that you need enough synthetics in the physical enough. AKA if you a red pill, you need Rams, you need that, you need this, you need that Jewish man job or something like that. Then you think you feel comfortable to get a bitch and still don't get a wifey material. Still don't get, you know what I'm saying? Still get rocked to sleep. Still get everything taken from you like P. Diddy. I'm saying real shit. Still got to cross country like Russell Simmons. So we gonna make it make sense and stuff like that because you don't be understanding. But we in this, y'all ain't there yet. What the fuck wrong with y'all? You supposed to have done this already. We've done this already. We've done this thousands of times. You supposed to already be the adult spirit. Like, oh yeah, I remember this phase. It's playing out in this portion the way it played out last time in this one. No, you're supposed to be there already. Y'all still lost in synthetics. Even if you have a dream about a restaurant, it's supposed to be random. It ain't supposed to be you specifically at goddamn McDonald's. You specifically at, you know what I'm saying? Like that. That's when you lost. You probably going to hell. You gonna have to do this a few more times. And shit. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to be in somewhere that's thinking like, oh, then wake up, be like, that must have been a restaurant. I got a whole new restaurant business I'm getting ready to bring into existence. It's supposed to be like that. Like, it's supposed to be like, oh, I see McDonald's. I'm like, oh, I gotta go get that goddamn Whopper McDouble. You know what I'm saying? That's you got backwards. You got backwards. Somebody making money in the spiritual world. Oh, I'm sad, bro. I'm just trying to get your mind right first so you can get there. So when we go back in the physical, you be like, oh, okay, that's why we in the physical, the outcome of this, the starting point where things was at when it was playing out. Then you won't get all lost in the sauce and your habashas and all this stuff, and you'll be like, oh, damn, I'm worshiping a goddamn demon that's plagiarizing as a holy one and something like that. This shit, goddamn it, my holy ones might be part of me a little bit, or here to help me out and shit like shit. That's how you found this channel. That's how you found this channel, here to help your punk ass out. I'll say, wake your punk ass up for the 9, 9, and 2. I think I'm mixing up songs. I think I'm mixing up MC8 and Juvenile. I think I'm mixing up the. It's the 9, 9 of 2000. Yeah. Wake your punk ass up. They took out the G, then the G8, and that's it. After that, I don't remember that song no more. You don't let DJ Quick do you like that, man. I don't remember the song. That's all I remember because of the movie now. You don't let nobody do that to you like that. So it's been a whole bunch of like 50 Cent, Ja Rule somebody for long periods of time. T.I. did that to Lil Flint. DJ Quick did that to MC8. I think this thing been going on in history for a long time. Yeah, wake your punk ass. As soon as this came out, yeah, you took out the G because the G8. Oh, that's it. I don't remember nothing else. MC8, man. Oh, but that. Hey, I had to hear that. My mama played that 24/7, bitch. A little bit of that. My mama played that 24/7, bitch. A little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, so wait, blame our parents. MC8, blame our parents. A little bit of that. Now let's check this out right now when we get it. But now look, let's talk about Jew now. Now, we're in some energy where it's like, you know, you got Europeans creating some pilgrim energy, right? So when it comes into the pilgrims first, they were just coming over here settling. Before anybody know, Britain, they big brothers, Australia, they all come from. So they've been blending in with people before they even came over here. They've been at this little psyop where we blend in with someone, Marianne, somehow we own everything they doing now, stuff like that. And the kids that come, she don't even remember us being here. For like, so this is like a been, before they even got here, this was like some thing going on. You know what I'm saying? Before we even know what's going on with Spain and French, and we even know what they beefing about and shit like that. They already had some emerging, submerged type shit. So let's get that established first before y'all ever start getting into who is God and who is Allah. There's a couple of white men running around at first. You know what I'm saying? Say the first. You gotta start thinking about this shit first when you start thinking about the starting points. So this shit be way before they start extending in other people's continents and stuff like that with this colonization. Our lands is deserted land energy. You know what I'm saying? So once they established that, right, then that's when they started coming off across it was good. Then they started establishing themselves around different circumstances, right? So first you got to know that ain't no God. It's deserted. We're hungry. We're about to be vampires. And before we came up with the word demon, we that. And feed her energy first. So that's first, right? Once you understand that, that's first before they scourge anywhere. Now, when you get to people who know how to do stuff with good qualities, I ain't got to look for finger. We create a military, but I ain't really got to look for finger because I got good charismatic. When this is where other continents, they better at. Know what I'm saying? So when you coming over here, we got like a government, something established already, and we're understanding things from the internal, in the gen. So when you're in the gen, right, we made a whole bunch of allegories about it that they made mathematics around. So they turned it into snakes, the bears, dragons, but it's really talking about the water snake, aka the internal world, where your tree is your body and your brain, because we all have an extension of these things. So you are a presence under the tree, being the chief saint or Massasoit, whatever the case may be. Even in New York under the Genesis tree, between the two rivers and things of that nature, in the Hudson River and stuff. And we talk about the way as above, so below. They took a mathematics and ran the below, make everybody get into a retarded version of as above. And ever since then, your tax dollars been going to NASA. But that's a whole different thing, though. But I'm trying to help you understand. So we trying to help people understand the internal peeping game first, right? So it's like the internal circumstances. So when we talk about the internal, it's before you play out these traits externally. This is the fruit that you're biting internally and shit. So it got you into a situation where you might hear a synthetic version. What do fruit mean? They ain't talking about an apple. What do the snake mean? They ain't talking about a snake. Man, it's us trying to tell them what's actually going on when it comes to them coming over here and them being broken hungry. Now, as they start to learn our system and our government and stuff, then that's when it start to update and become the George Washington or whatever the case may be. So here's where you get moving a whole bunch of natives out of an area and then having a whole bunch of new white settlers coming and then coming up with some energy like, oh, we did something bad and we don't like that. We don't like that we did bad. Let's do those spiritual natures that they was doing. And here's where you get a religion starting to get created, aka copy the Native American, act like them on these lands while removing them from these lands. So even if you get stories about the not the Mayflower but the Gillis the Isles boat, these is after they buddies that made it safe for them to come over here, and then they don't want to experience all the killing though, but they sure gonna accept the money, they sure gonna accept the land, and they gonna steal the religious system and say, hey, we need to act like this, but this is the books that they reading to make a mathematical concept of what the natives was doing in that area before we got pushed to another area and then pushed to another area. You see what I'm saying? And then we just still scattered around, especially the war chiefs and shit. So it's putting things in a perspective to help you understand how this Jewish concept is being developed. It's another aspect of replacing someone, taking their culture, then later on down the line, take the things you did to them too and claim that happened to you. So it'll be a lot of things that we probably hear about what happened to the so-called Jews or whatever the case, but that what they did to the Native Americans. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of that going on too, where it's like a throw your rock, hide your hand. And if you can hide yourself in people's culture, language, and history enough, you end up becoming them. And this is how you could run their resources in their land. So this is a deep thing that they've been doing even with themselves. But for them to come over here, they was getting hit upside the head over there in UK and stuff, in Australia. And came over here and start doing that same thing. But the spiritual quality come from the natives. So even when it comes into the deep studies of, hey, what they was thinking, for them to even have that sentiment and importance to keep a Native American head and skull and stuff, you got to know these things come from deep feeling to motivate, not something that somebody don't care about. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't listen. Y'all don't understand. They went to war with us for 300 years. We at the 300-year period right now. So they downsized us with all kind of manipulation, poisons and stuff like that, and started ushering in other individuals and shit like that. But that's a long time to be going to war with somebody, 300 years and shit like that. Y'all got to keep that in mind. This is some piece by piece thing, not just some old slaughter over shit. This is a whole bunch of interaction, cool at some time, angry at one time, manipulation, but the whole goal still being exercised out. You know what I'm saying? So don't just look at it like there's some type of slaughter, extinction type. That's impossible. You know what I'm saying? But as things moving forward from the late 1700s to the late 1800s, that last 100 years was the last portions of our war and moving us to the west and finishing us up on the west coast and the southwest, which is the Great Plains. You know what I'm saying? But it started how they was crushing us in the first place. So as that being established, you get today this Hebrew language, and you get that as another concept that we could see the seed being played out in a lot of different areas, not just this, how the Europeans throw their rock and hide their hand. And that's a actual practice. It's submerging with someone's culture and the land that you just took. And if it's enough descendants, no matter who mixing, sometimes when they can't mix enough, this where immigrant concept have to come. So enough decades go down the line where enough immigrant, the people who did it, writing it down while still some alive and some being born to know to uphold it for this little government of being just European, infiltrating the culture and the language and how they was running things on that land and becoming that and hiding in it. So this is how you can get some cosplayer white person get online and start telling everybody we all need to be against the Jews. That's the person practicing it. You see what I'm saying? That's the person practicing it. So it's like some Jesuit Masonic concept where create caricatures based off other people's cultures and then do things that these people believe in, and then when it happens, we don't know who did it. The Jews did it, the Illuminati did it, but it's really saying maybe them dead Native American spirits did it. You see what I'm saying? That's literally what it's saying, and if people believe it, they don't have to look at us type concept. So like this is what we dealing with when it comes to lands being taken and making you think you fighting for something or you just fighting for somebody else too. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at it in that aspect, everything that the president and the government doing over here is this what us Native Americans was doing. They just took the whole thing. They say they made a mathematic concept of, oh, this what it means to get attention. This what it means to have a vibe. This what it means. You see what I'm saying? So they're just writing a whole bunch of what we already did and how we was already chiefs, slowly but surely replaced us. And then once we started getting downsized, this how it was like a little open for Jesuits to become our chiefs, where they really wasn't the chiefs. You'll just get that in history. This is what's going on. It's destroy and conquer or divide and conquer, but it's come as a friend. So this how they was doing us with Britain and England and stuff like that. They'd do something, blame it on us, or do something to destroy us, bring another white man like to act like it's our friend to save us. Once we downsize, we gotta lean and depend on this other new white man to grab up the buffalo and stuff like that. And the whole deal, the whole time, he's a missionary for the people who just destroyed our situation in the first place. See what I'm saying? So when we had 3 ice ages, this ain't no decade, year, century type thing. 3 ice ages happened in 3 year span. They all represent a different trail of tears from the East Coast all the way to the Mississippi area. Destroy their way of life, burn down their villages, which was actually cities, better than theirs. That's why you got hills you be driving on the streets. Destroy their village. This is getting over the peace treaty. We assign a peace treaty, they'll do something, blame it on another tribe that didn't accept the peace treaty, and then had that as an excuse to start destroying everything and move us, and then send a white person to make it seem like this cat the middleman, and he didn't want to do that, and it's just some radical white boys. But it was their way of infiltrating and making new business. You know what I'm saying? It's a different way of control. It's like look at it like this. Let's say me and you trying to run something, and I got a business. We got a doctor business, right? We might want a convenience store business. Now, the convenience store business ain't got nothing to do with the doctor business, but we're going to fund that convenience store business, and everything in that convenience store may be something that we tell people that they need recommended from when they leave this doctor. So when they leave this doctor, they go straight to that Walgreens convenience store to get the same thing. So you'll be thinking, damn, did I get eugenics on me? Then you telling the doctor, and then a doctor like, well, I don't know, here go this. And then now you're going to the savior, aka the Walgreens. We're just using this as an allegory. And then they're supposed to be the ones to help you. So you think Walgreens is separate than the doctors. You know what I'm saying? But it really ain't. The Jesuit was with the Mason Generals. The doctors, Mason General, Star Trek crew, and then the missionaries and said Star Wars. I mean, goddamn it, coming on the grounds and playing the foot soldier and the save soul soldiers. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. Knight Templars and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's the Star Trek crew and the Star Wars crew. So that's how we seen it too today too. That's how it was. These cats coming to invade you. Not just your land, your mind. They about to be all they can be all you can be. Everything you was, they that now. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't have one of their own. They have one of their own, you'll be able to see it. But that's their starting point of thinking that this is cool. The submersion where everybody's who we took over and their gods as a sign, a badge of honor and shit, and put it on the goddamn cavalry coat. Put it on the goddamn blue jacket, damn red jacket. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Let's show how many people, how many colors we done did this shit on. And that's what y'all really don't be looking at. Y'all know how to pay attention to, like, look at a symbol. Look at a tie. They'll just tell you, yeah, I got the lion tongue. That's it. You got a whole tie on. You got a whole lion tongue. That's it. That's the only way you're going to be in politics. You ain't going to be in politics. Ain't nobody going to tell you get a good old tuxedo and a tie and a bow tie. Some shit. You need a lion tongue before you get in anything. You know what I'm saying? Shit. You get raised up, they give you a book here. This book teach you this lion tongue. You know what I'm saying? This book right here, this page right here teach you how to make people slaves in the mind. This book right, this page, go to this page right here and use these symbols that the Native Americans used to use. Oh, that's it, and then that's it. You start seeing them with aprons on and shit like that. You're just always gonna be behind. They always tell you who they is behind it, though. Good old black tuxedo. I said they always tell you who they behind all the ornaments that's on them. They might have this on. They had this on. They thought they was over here with Jesus and stuff with us and floating around with gizzards. They start having this on objects, certain type of pope hats and shit like that. Them Aztec shits. I'm saying shit like that. You gotta know, you gotta peel back all the layers. Just peel it all. Just a good old tuxedo and a lion tongue, goddamn tie. That's pretty much it. Out the throat chakra. Whole long lizard tie coming from the throat chakra. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see, y'all not in these times that we had to build this shit. When we was trying to be cool. You know what I'm saying? Just they took over as more of them now, whereas now it's changing now. But one of the time this was a white nation, so it became more of them. They fucked their own game up though. Brought too many foreigners over here, and us Native Americans did too much fucking. You know what I'm saying? So at some point now, it's like for y'all to do something, y'all did reverse psychology, and y'all tried to make America a white nation, and y'all made it America a colored nation. So America a colored nation and stuff like that. So now it's like we got to decipher all these things. We're trying to clean each other's yard up and stuff to see like what we about and things. And then y'all got to do some new type of blending in again. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, but this is where we at. But that's how y'all got to see it, though. So it's like anytime you see them trying to run shit or something, that's what the Native Americans was doing. Any politician, any governor or something. But the reason you seeing it synthetic and they can't really do it and they keep fucking up the money and shit like that because of the starting point. They never could do it in the first place, and their point was taking it over. So they're doing it as a survival concept. So they need you to believe something for anything to work. Or they just going to start shooting missiles and shit again and start killing people. Yeah, that's as far as it go in the animal's brain. They don't have the seeds of the Sephiroths. They don't have that. They're just trying to teach you it to make money. So if you see somebody with a bucket hat online right now trying to teach you, hey, the ancient mean native. But if they start trying to remix it with themselves, of course, it's coming from themselves. They self-project. They don't know where they came from or something. So it's always going to lead back to aliens. I don't know. Ancients. It might have been 17,000 BC. I don't know. But hey, give me money and buy my book. Buy my rabbi book. You know what I'm saying? That's about it. These cats all about money. That's what they got. That's their God. This is about money. They don't know shit. They don't even know how to blow their fucking nose or wipe their ass. They weren't even coming over here washing their ass. But they about to sit up here and tell us with some ancients that they was born thousands of years after the fact, just a few 5,000 years ago. They about to tell us about all of us who was born in eons ago. How? That ain't make no sense. That's like me going to somebody's land. I don't know their auntie and uncle. I was there for a few hundred years. I'm about to tell everybody about their aunties and uncles who. That ain't make no sense at some point. How that make sense? How? How? That made no sense. But y'all fucked up in the head. We all fucked up in the head. Everybody, all classes, we all fucked up in the head right now. We gotta clean each other's yard up. We gotta clean each other's yard up and shit. So yeah, they took the books. That's why they write down so much books. They wrote it down and figured out how to be the native, but put a tuxedo on it. So that picture you see on the thumbnail is them making a Native American voodoo doll, fake chief, a Jesuit that's trying to be a chief. Now history, you might be like, nah, this ain't right. Nah, history speaks for itself, bitch. All Jesuits was trying to be chiefs of Native Americans, bitch. All Jesuits was in the middle of trying to be interpreters between the colonists and Native Americans on the peace treaties. Then the outcome, all peace treaties got reneged on. So that let you know all their team and shit. So don't ever get it fucked up when they say language have been changed. Jesuits wasn't involved. No, the Jesuits was involved. So when you start to see, don't follow the practice and the history. I mean, the practice and the history and the money. It's all these things are not history books. It's about history. So if you look at it like a history book, dates will be all over the place. Names of cities and states and country and where these things took place will be all over the place. But when you follow the practice, then that's specific. Oh, I said that's specific when you follow the damn practice. So the missionary Jesuits, the only people who practice changing Native Americans' language, and the only ones who got hold of it now, and replaced it with J, V, and C, and all. Replaced the K with C, replaced the H with J, replaced the or V, and shit, and all kind of dry stuff, sitting around laughing and shit. You know what I'm saying? So people could be like Jew and who, be like who, we don't know. So something happened in the world, we don't know. Planes crashing, building, we don't know. You know what I'm saying? You broke, you in debt, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter what it is, nobody know. We just in debt. Nobody know why we in debt, but we just in debt. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I'm tired of not knowing now. I'm tired of not knowing. Real shit. We don't know shit. I was saying, where's Duncan? Where's Duncan? Rich. Whole family getting rich right now. Pilgrim man. Shout out to Duncan. Shout out to Duncan, though. And everybody ain't evil. Everybody need, well, you might have colonized some shit. At least you kept it here. At least you ain't take it back to goddamn Europe or something like that, or take it back to goddamn Israel. So to leave it here. Yeah, Duncan, you got the coffee from here. Leave it here. I like going to Duncan. Oh, so shit. Oh shit. What's that? But damn, learn how to respect other people's qualities. Like, learn how to let other people have shit. Let other people be proud about shit. We can't have shit to be proud about. Like, y'all got to take over everything and just be gods in our mind. Nah, let us have something. Real shit on over there. Y'all can't have everything. They just sign up everything. Everybody down to the left pinky toe. Nah, man, we need something. Man. Give us something, man. Real shit. Y'all be flunked out as hell. Y'all go too far with it. But yeah, they just established everything, took over everybody's backyard and shit like that. That made like a Native American chief voodoo doll and start calling it president. But at the beginning, there was this George Washington manifested destiny that all the generals was trying to play that energy out to be a president for specific territories before they start, you know what I'm saying, took the whole pie, start cutting it up for themselves so their family could eat. And everybody who got a territory, everybody, that's a magic square, a state. You know what I'm saying? Then that state is ran by somebody that's a colonist for all their kids to go to school for free and stuff like that. Because everybody who work in that city and state pay taxes, pay that Masonic Jesuit. That's cosplaying as a Jew anytime we catch on to something, and then we catch on. Then it's Jewish sentimentism now. Then it's all something about, we gotta all get distracted about something we don't even know about what's going on. Like, we're like, what? Huh? Oh, we hate. I don't remember hating Jews. Oh, I said, oh, shower. You know what I'm saying? We gotta think to ourselves. Is we doing that? Like, they put it on the news so much, they make us believe we the ones actually doing this and shit. Like, wait a minute, I don't ever remember me mugging no Jewish person or something like that. I don't remember nothing of that. Like, when you get on the news now, you start listening to Kanye West, you'll start thinking weird and shit. You be like, damn, we need to stop practicing anti-Semitism, and you never did that in your life. I don't even think you can be racist or something like that in your position, your broke ass position. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, y'all gotta start thinking sometimes, like, wait a minute, I think we live in a movie or something like that. You get forced in things. You get forced in things and shit like that. If it go on long enough, history get changed and remixed, and you don't know what's going on and shit like that. You end up fighting nobody but yourself. Fighting things in your mind and shit. Well, I'm saying, like, what's going on and shit? I was saying, the only thing you know is it's the next blockbuster hit movie. That's it. That's all you know. It's the next goddamn bestseller book. That's it. That'd be it. It'll never be going no further than that door until y'all wake up a little bit and be like, wait a minute, let me snap out of it. And then a few more birdies and stars will fly away from your head. But until then, y'all still got like thousands of them. Y'all got like thousands of them still floating around like a spaceship. They got the space, they got the hat. Y'all got stars and birdies all floating around and shit, all over the place and shit. Oh, lost UFO brain. I gotta get y'all mind together with that lost UFO spaceship brain that went in nowhere man's land. You know what I'm saying? Nowhere man's land. Deserted, no trees, no fruit. So you can't pluck and bend it in down here and be fruitful and got some attraction energy about yourself or something like that. And that's what run governments. Other than that, and people just killing each other and white collar, blue collar crimes. Say you thought was your best friend ain't your best friend. As soon as a business deal go wrong, it ain't your best friend no more, man. Nah, that ain't no world. That's synthetic. Y'all went the whole wrong way about something when y'all was writing shit down and trying to cosplay it. Y'all start doing it another type of way. It should never go down that deep and shit. Y'all just start assassinating each other and shit like that. Y'all got problems. Real shit. Don't be using God power for no retardation and shit like that. Because that's what I'm starting to see. People using Yehovah for retarded shit. False aims, false bills, you know what I'm saying? False landscaping and stuff. I'm starting to see it like, wait a minute, hold on, this ain't right here. Something ain't right. Everybody don't need to go to hell. So that's what I'm trying to rechange it. People go back to the beauty path and shit. Everybody don't gotta go to hell. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Everybody get leading everybody to hell. The Michael Jordan and his son, everybody gotta go to hell. Everybody don't gotta go. Real shit. But when y'all peep gay, y'all kind of know that, all right, this is some like infiltration and invasion that they kind of do everywhere and shit like that. So however they did it in India, that's how British man start calling them India, start calling them East Asians and South Asians, Indians and stuff, and start calling them Arabs, and start calling Egypt and Africa, and start calling them Arabs and stuff like that. And like, they don't know. You know what I'm saying? These cats just on trying to conquer. You know, you think these cats don't sit around and care about what your grandmama talked about or something? Like, you had to be somebody that was into something. Not just no regular old person that was around and shit. They don't know what happened to you. You probably got family or not. They don't give a fuck. Had to be some main player for them to even write your ass down. They don't even write your monkey ass down and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. They don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? They cosplay that shit. They cosplay the fuck out that shit. And you'll be somewhere, somebody running around in government, running around acting like you. If you're a main player, if you're somebody born up under their shit, they're looking at this like, oh, okay, we created new men. We created new men and women. So we made this genetic. So they're keeping it based off blood type, not necessarily the nationality terms they're calling it. They're keeping up who's mixed with what and who's more pure or what or whatever the case may be, based upon what's in your blood and what comes back as your blood type. That's how that's how they're doing it and things of that nature. So this goes beyond you sharing the same blood as your family member, but having different blood type. This is why a lot of times everybody mixed. Y'all, that's where their starting point at. You can have a brother or a sister or whatever the case may be, and depending on your parents' mixture and stuff like that, or sister, or in all these cases, even when it comes to your parents, they can take one side more than the other when it comes to the genetics and shit. So this is the things that they're keeping track of because they came across a lot of circumstances that they feel like was a mistake that did work in their favor. You know what I'm saying? Then a lot of times they made a whole bunch of. For an example, it was almost a test study, even how they made a lot of the Seminoles and shit, because it wasn't just a lot of freedmans rebelling and finding sanctum with the Seminole Native Americans and stuff like that. But a lot of times they was doing practices like eugenics. This was the early stages of eugenics. What happens if we mix these people together? Treating people like animals. That's what reservations was. So first they did it with us. They got tired of mixing with us because we was rebelling. So that's when they start bringing freedmans to do it with them. In the meantime, mix us up with other tribes to see what happened, to see if we lose the Indian spirit, right? And confuse ourselves, having to be with strangers that still are same people, but not our tribe, different areas and stuff. You see what I'm saying? Then after that happened and shit, too many freedmans and Asians start rebelling like we did, as them trying to raise them up to run the military and stuff like that. So then that's when they start stopping that and stuff. And then that's when they said, fuck all that type shit. Let's get into the poisons again, eugenics, and downsize some of this shit we making, because these people ain't doing nothing but the Indian spirit coming back and some then freedman waking up on a land that ain't theirs, fighting for it and shit like that. So hold on, wait a minute, what is this? And then they're mixing and stuff. This is some new type of thing. Nah, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? Eugenics. So then you start getting all this other type of circumstances, and in the meantime, you're getting more heavier investment into updating religion and missionary concepts when it comes into bringing more foreigners over here. So the only thing they know is once TV started getting more in the 1900s, TV started to come imagery, they could create the perception of what this land may have been by the foreigners that's coming over here, and make sure they just completely have white boy mind. And then this is what we getting now from the mid 1900s into now. We're getting that kind of washing down or last soaked up energy, because you can't do no negative thing and it strive to be positive. It's always going to be rooted in having to uphold it, but it can't uphold. You see what I'm saying? So it has to be done more relatable eventually. So this is kind of what's going on in this shift that we got right now, where people are starting to realize everybody is colonized, and it just leading to like Europe. You know what I'm saying? And they just doing manipulation or something like that, because they never took the time to practice what they preach. If they would have took the time to practice what they preach, maybe it wouldn't be this type of situation that everybody is in. And then even if it's inevitable, it would be some grace there. It would be like, people would be like, all right, I see you actually try to change. But we don't actually see that. It's just a whole bunch of things that was done, spirits it was done to back, and being able to be like, what are you doing? Or however the case may be. And then not enough spirits in other pockets that came back as a main player to know that they are seen as foolish in a new time. So they're on the same cycle in their own way of going to hell and spiritual evaporating. By not knowing no better. The lack of knowledge, one shall perish. You know what I'm saying? But if you're into this, you should know what's the inevitable anyway, due to the fact of what we see as natural results. Your character goes beyond whatever you create around it, synthetic, to make it appear to be something that is not. You know what I'm saying? So that always even get into like, I mean, I'm not saying people should recommend or worship God or whatever, but you got to practice what you preach. If you created something that's a title called God and you're preaching that, but we in action, you're not practicing it, it don't make no sense. For an example, Joel Osteen, Creflo Dollar are people who preach something that's a part of the government that we don't see none of them practice. You know what I'm saying? Anytime somebody's blowing up land, you do not practice what you preach. Anytime you come up with a lying tongue to make it seem like it's justified, you do not practice what you preach. So with that, don't call that a God. And if you call that a God, that's you coming up with something in your mind, and you just want to act out something being a human, and you think other people are supposed to believe in that type of concept of God, so you can say God said something, or this was something in a book or something like that. That's manipulation. Going to hell. Because you really don't need others to exercise your desires, unless your desires is not in the best interest of others. And wherever that seed come from, for one's desires to not be in the best interest of others, has to be studied. That people need a straitjacket, because I can have a desire to do something and not bother nobody in the world. And if I'm doing something relatable and in sync, it's probably something I'm doing myself that other people will like to start doing anyway. So whatever that we're doing, we're building on healthier qualities. But it should never be a situation where whatever I'm doing, if I want to take a will and turn it into a desire or expectation, I should never fulfill that cup or that box of expectation with a person, place, or thing. You know what I'm saying? It should be only my own will, my own volition and talent and gift. And if nothing comes in that as a version of a person, place, or thing, then it ain't meant to be. But the moment I place myself in a situation that I have to force that, the talent ain't what I'm presenting. The talent is how much I can put a person, place, or thing or expectation in whatever I created to look like it's something I'm developing genuinely, or whatever the case may be. Even if I spark small percentage scales of it to appear to be that way. You know what I'm saying? That's like taking a shortcut and getting something when you ain't do the full maximum effort but getting the same amount out of something. You start looking at yourself with an ego like you could take it easy. You know what I'm saying? But once you take it easy, just as easy as you taking it, just as easy as somebody will take it from you. You know what I'm saying? But it's just those type of situations that we're not all paying attention to. And when you're looking in the spiritual world and shit, it's a give and take energy. And once you have absorbed from taking so much, right, there's times that you have to give. Now, it ain't what you do, is how you do it. So there's a right and a wrong way to do it from a spiritual perspective. Once you have take and fill your cup up. Know what I'm saying? But that cup, what's the ingredients in it? And does it has a lot of ingredients from other people's recipes? And if you have already prophesied and made profit off of the actual product itself, then those funds or those esoteric currencies, I mean, it might be time to start reaping what you sow and start giving it back to whoever you took the ingredients from. You know what I'm saying? And however that got to be done, when it's on a relatable end, you know what I'm saying? But stuff got to be more in sync, because everybody have to deal with their own internal energies. And just as much as your physical body, based upon negative toxins that you eat, food for thought, the spiritual toxins and fruit that you eat will allow you to be spiritually sick, aka left in your own pocket, developing minds and feelings and stuff that you can't get out of. Ye hallel, right? Because you're trying to clean things that that's unclean. And when you ain't got no body, this is how you're dealing with it in the mind, in your atmosphere. And these is the fruits that we're using as allegory before they crush in as seeds from the inside out and germinate and become fruits and things that we see in this world, this realm. So when you get stuck in your own seed, based upon being in this realm, you didn't germinate out to expand it. You went in the world that we make seeds and just get stuck in your own seed, your own pocket, your own box, your own mind, your own ELL, your own spaceship. That don't go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So you can't grow, you can't expand as a spirit to create a broader mind, to condense and be a well-oiled, more layer organ machine. Even if you jumping in back to the similar organs with this reincarnation energy, you got more layering systems, mentally, more thought, feeling, comprehension, and it bends in as blood flow, adrenaline, movement that develops an external concept of a fruit that we call attraction. You know what I'm saying? And that attraction has a lot of synchronicity and relatability, mathematical energies in it to compact that seed to become that fruit. And that's what we're all trying to find. This is why a man look at ass. This is why a female look for security. Because these things have something to do beyond how we're physically playing these synchronized relatabilities out in the holy. Then there's a holy version, like your body made out of water in the holy. So the holy version of water outside of you play out differently, but you know it's connected, that you need it. And then on a holy scale, water evaporating is the less dense. Less dense is your mind. There's a way how it play out in that spectrum, where many pieces of your thoughts and feelings come together to create one whole mass as a solar plexus, your own individual fire. And then the reflection of it, your moon, how you supposed to react. And then there's a way how you do it on that scale. And if you don't know how to synchronize these things spiritually, you're not in spiritual control. You're controlled under a mental template that really was justified and created from the physical template that was in distress and deserted and needed the external world to survive. So the only way of knowing how to do it was create a synthetic version. Can't mentally condense and plant and then an Indian fruit and strawberry grow out of it. It's just you probably on a motherland and your father thought so deserted. Shit, you only know how to pluck from some sand and make some oatmeal out of dead bacteria and fungus. But at some time it's like that. It'll play out like that to let you know where you at in the spiritual world. That's the mind you create. It condenses and become an environment, and the environment represent where you was at spiritually to start acting out these natures. So to represent where you came from, to know where you're going, you have to know where you came from. So if you don't want to go back where you came from, just in a more awareness, because you're no longer a bacteria and an animal. So as a spirit, you get out the previous mind and body, spiritual size, expand and create a more broader mind with the same abilities from the previous one, and goddamn create another physical body and stuff like that. You're unable to do that to a certain degree, based upon this type of cycle. Ooh, I want to throw my point off too. Yeah, so this is why you have more dreams than an animal, but attention span. But this is why your lifespan, you live longer than an animal too. So for the most part, that puts you into a situation of knowing that we're making glorified bodies, and you take yourself off that path once you reach a position that you feel like you wish you had this knowledge to do back in a lesser grade. So you wish you had this human knowledge to do back of the thing that you only still a lion. And if you could do the lion things while you a human, you feel like you could take over the human world and you will get stuck in the human great earth world. Hell. You know what I'm saying? Just being in the nut sacks of other people when we're recycling each other, because you become so small before you just want to spiritually evaporate and things of that nature. So it's about us creating the atmosphere and the environment. And then that becomes our mind and our body, our micro versions of our atmosphere and environment. So this is what let us know that the external represent our internal. So our mind is the holy version of the internal snake, the internal dragon, right? So people use their internal thoughts and desires and get lost into the word dragon or snake because of the white man plagiarizing. But you need to know your body heals itself like a snake. So any illness you got that your body isn't capable of healing itself, it was made in a lab. So that goes for cancer, that goes for diabetes, certain STDs, leukemia, what's the other one? Arthritis. No, maybe not arthritis. Well, they probably sped up the process of that. It's another one beyond leukemia. Lupus. Anything that you can't heal on your own, and you need their form of medication that we had plants to heal something before it even lead to something cancerous, and whatever the case may be, that at that time, food wasn't synthetic, and whatever we doing as practices kept our body. So there's no such thing as that type of disease. It's only same way an outer scar. There may be something you eat that might be negative back in the day, and it causes an internal blood clot or blood burst or whatever the case may be. But these are all concepts of things that heal on his own. This new things that y'all getting, any concept that can't heal his own, and then you need their subsidies, that was done on purpose. That's why they got the subsidies. That's like making up a problem for you, and all of a sudden they got the solution. But the solution ain't a cure either, though. So it's almost like all the fields, medical fields, business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. It's someone, then they get a Lewis, a child, and then make a business for them. And it's everybody getting rich, and it did reach to a point of doing it negatively and doing it with racism mixed with it and hatred mixed with it. You know what I'm saying? So here's where you get the negative versions of eugenics being played out, where that shouldn't even be a thing. That shouldn't even be nothing in history. So we shouldn't be having none of their descendants in control of any of our laws either. Not at least on this land. They can go back to Europe with that. If you want to be the descendants of some people who practice eugenics, go back and take that where y'all got that from. It don't matter if you're doing that right now or not. You are in the luxury of living in suburbs, gated communities, acting like you own people's land, deciding when you could get up here and tell people about importing and immigration and what's going to be next, in control of our tax dollars for pervert shit and this, that, and the third. This is all degenerate shit. Y'all form of religion, every concept is degenerate. It's like y'all don't know how to be people. Like y'all don't know how to actually be human or real men or real women. If y'all want to act like animals, even in the mind, that mental manipulation is mental animal. That's an animal in the spiritual world. If y'all want to act like animals, take that to Europe and establish themselves. And if it's so good, then everybody will want to copy it and move to Europe based upon whatever establishment y'all making people go through a line of fire or something like that, or based upon job and a way of thinking that people will want to do it. The problem is people don't want to do it. Just like back in the day, no one wanted to colonize nobody. Nobody wanted to settle nowhere else. Nobody wanted to go and visit anywhere else unless it's just a vacation purpose. That's it. Ain't nobody trying to do what y'all doing in general. Not how much it could be updated. No, the whole seed is degenerate. You know what I'm saying? The whole concept. The whole, y'all think we need some other degenerate to control us to do some more degenerate shit is stupid. You see what I'm saying? It should be no excuse for us to be sitting here for the past 3 to 4 years complaining about gas prices and carton of eggs, and then got the nerve to try to almost go through a war or some shit like that, and that we got to be the ones to worry about it. That don't even make no sense. We ain't in on nothing, so it ain't even got nothing to do with no country or something like that. So I don't want to hear nothing about no other country claiming they aiming missiles or anything about war. We don't even talk about that. We something separate. So anybody in control of anything causing beef somewhere, y'all take that up with them. That ain't got nothing to do with us. That don't make no sense. That's like people blaming the land or blaming people that's doing things to them, but blaming the land that it got done on too. Like, why would Iran or anybody blame America and this soil, knowing who y'all beefing with did that to us too? We ain't one thing. You know what I'm saying? You don't see nobody over here talking about no one thing and shit. We ain't one thing. So I don't get it. I wasn't at no round table discussing no gas prices and nothing like that. So whatever oil they took from y'all, they took it from us too. I don't get that. I can't have nobody in no position speaking for these lands who don't even care about lands or anything, and making up gods and justifications of what's the right thing to do or not. Or is this a whole bunch of dumbass arguments about war? This shit don't even make no sense about nothing. Like, I don't even think gangbangers even be that retarded in today's time. You know what I'm saying? So, like, nah, you can't be in control of a whole bunch of shit. And I thought that's what churches and institutions and colleges for, if people who going to be taking these type of jobs got some type of common sense and morality. We got the biggest mafia criminals in existence just sitting there creating our laws and shit and creating justifications to lock up regular people doing crumb versions of what they doing. You know what I'm saying? P. Diddy is doing a crumb version of what Hugh Hefner and whoever run the porn industry is doing. Think about it. For a porn person, to a business person, to even get the people to do it, they're doing exactly what P. Diddy was, quote unquote, doing 10 times plus. See, but the white boy don't want y'all to look at it that way. The white boy don't want y'all to look at them steroids that they be taking as drugs and shit like that. White boy don't want you to look at that sex trafficking where you have to get people from even other countries and shit like that all in one mansion or something like that. White boy don't want you to see that because that's their seed. They dick was small, so they came over here, had to kill people, kill the men, and make the and grape the woman by force with guns and stuff like that, and be like, hey, Billy, my turn, Billy, my turn. They're sick, and they still do that type of concept because that's all of our imagery. We can see Beyonce commercials with all of the ethnicities they bring with them while she's swinging on a horse. They up here, some Daisy Dukes talk about that. What do you think that's supposed to, that outcome's supposed to be on commercials like that? So you know the director is a Masonic pervert. You know that. It ain't nothing but these Jesuits and Jews and these priests playing with boys' booty hole. You looked at as an enemy if you just trying to make a church on the block and you get hit with all kind of property taxes and stuff like that and all kind of weird profiling and shit. Well, some neighbors called and secretly said that the music was too loud over here, so you might have to shut this down. So made up shit. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Yet, whole Catholic Church allowed to still be an establishment. That y'all on some bullshit for real. Now y'all on some bullshit now. Y'all don't look at people like people. That, and we gotta start talking about business. Just like y'all being fear tactics, even them shooting missiles and stuff. All right, that's one thing. I know everybody gonna die. So fuck all that. No matter how you die, the reality while you still alive is this: who gonna pay for it? You don't sit up here and take everybody's tax dollars and y'all sit up here and talk about we about to do this, that, or who paying for it there? So now my eyes is zoomed in. I'm waiting for the first person to be like, we don't use tax dollars. And I'm waiting for the other person to start talking about taxes. And if they stay far away from this conversation, well, hopefully they should stay away from the conversation of war and everything else. To cause another distraction. Go lock up another artist or something like that. Y'all be bullshitting though, for real. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that shit is bullshit. Don't let no white boys just sit up here and lie to y'all on some bullshit. I said this fucking bullshit. If you mean business, you mean business. You in real life. You know how real things work. You know how like real interactions work. Man, don't sit up here and have somebody in control of how you eat and shit like that in some fucked up pervert mentality and shit. Nah, that got to be talked about before you even sign any little piece of paper. I gotta know why your left ankle got arthritis in it before you sign anything else. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Hell fucking no. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way we got history of Hitlers and shit like that. History, so that means institutions don't work. We gotta start looking at that like that. Not let's bypass that and talk about it in the history. No, let's talk about the seed. The institution didn't work. The college didn't work. The church he was raised up under didn't work. Let's start talking about that. I'm saying, then that's when y'all start to realize every Christian Catholic church is replace that with colonizing, calling church. That's what it became the top of Cherokee, a church, a colonizer. That's it, Christian colonizer, you know, Catholic church, a colonized church. That's it, little damn monkeys. That's it. They got y'all doing what they used to do when they came over here and try to be missionary soul savers or something like that and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? After they stole Native Americans' culture and then try to do it in that area and then make the Native American bow down by force. And then have everybody else start worshiping dead Native American spirits. When y'all start talking about hallelujah and start talking about, yeah, God told me this, God told me that. The white boy was like, man, the Native Americans actually knew what they was talking about. And they was kicking ass. We just got y'all in some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You probably worshiping me at the moment. That's how the Jesuits and stuff looking at it. So when y'all start talking about Yahweh Shah, whatever, and all this shit, that's bullshit. And any stupid ass person online, either they got a dumb immediate family, or it is the feds cosplaying as people with motion picture. Once they start talking about Jesus and Jehovah and Yahweh Shah and all that shit, that's the feds. They all taking up for their shit. That's how they keep up with their shit. But they white boys, so they can't do it in reality. They know that every time they try to do something in reality, they don't get no votes. Nobody care about it, just that and third. So they had to create the curriculum, a coping mechanism of being in the shadows and shit like that. So they use your monkey ass or a cosplayer or create some Knight Templar shit like Israelites or Pan-African or some shit like that. And get all y'all lost in La La Land. Rest in peace to all the sitting bullshit like that. But and shout out to the Oglalas. Cloudy Land. Because that's sarcasm. You know what I'm saying? But Cloudy Land, got y'all in foggy Disney World land and shit like that. So y'all don't be knowing if y'all coming or going and shit. But once you start hearing somebody start talking about Yahweh, they either a person with a dumbass immediate family that's lost and just cleaned on to something because they start thinking that they was slaves in bondage about something, so they cleaned on to the first white man book, or it's the white man themselves, and they figured out a new way to be synthetic, aka they be online playing caricatures and shit like that. So they figured out they can't, they be trying to do me, they can't do it though. They be trying, they can't. Y'all can't do Native Americans. Y'all be trying. The best they can get sometimes they be trying to do Mexicans and shit like. You know what I'm saying? But they be getting y'all Freemans and y'all Asians good. And Jamaicans and all y'all, they be getting y'all good and shit like that. They be having you thinking that a whole group of people got a sentiment about your monkey ass, and they don't and shit like that. They be them. You know what I'm saying? So y'all be people game and shit like that. They'll come cause confusion real quick in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? Real quick in a hurry. Get you all lost everywhere. But you gotta peep game. Yeah, anytime you start hearing somebody talking about Jesus, Jehovah, Yahweh, all this, man, that's the damn fans or somebody with a dumbass median family and that who ain't got no uncles or aunties around them to tell them, shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck about what Christopher Columbus was talking about. This is what I was talking about when I was here. And I did it, you know what I'm saying? Or for y'all, it'd be wherever y'all came from and stuff like that. This is what we was doing. If you ain't in that type of spirit, you the new man or woman. Like you the new, some new shit that just whatever some white man created later on down the line. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, nobody giving a fuck about what no Christopher Columbus naming people. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Whatever they funky ass feet was naming themselves, they was degenerates. Who the fuck want to sit there and cling on to something? That let y'all know that Christopher Columbus wasn't even calling us Indians. Matter of fact, Christopher Columbus never even came over here. And then Christopher Columbus is a caricature. He's not even a real person. It's a goddamn manifested destiny. The generals that was playing out on that boat went to the Caribbean. They ain't even come here. They ain't no shit about India either and shit like that. It was called some Latin shit, Hindus, when British man was colonizing them. So y'all get y'all funky ass on that bullshit. I said that Christopher Columbus bullshit. Anytime you see a person face, if that ain't a real person, that's just what all the generals was acting out. You know what I'm saying? Then they start trying to do that with our Native American stories and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a person that they put up, talk about a chief that represent all the Native Americans and all the tribes at that time that was kicking ass. Then they try to make a coon out of it in history. Now they be changing shit. That they doing that to y'all now. Martin Luther Kings and all kind of shit. Y'all better check yourselves. Man, y'all better protect y'all cultures, man. These cats is evil as hell. And they don't give a fuck because it's about that money. Yeah. This is about that motherfucking money. That's about it for them and they brain. And whenever it dry up, they figure out how to do it again and get out the drought. That's it. You got to start there. So they'll use your belief to do it. They'll use your God to do it. You know what I'm saying? They'll use your God to do it. Your mentality, your spiritual system, your concept. Because we even taught them the pocket system where wherever you keep your hands at, each areas and stuff like that. We taught them what it means. These cats made that as a way to prepare themselves to get on news or something like that, to make Obama take a picture like it or something like that. Like some stupid ass shit like that. Y'all is create mental concepts in y'all mind. And so they be doing, the Republican and the Democrat Party be doing a whole bunch of Native American shit. Like they always copying. Like they ain't never doing their own shit. It's like they always in a book that you could tell they don't write. Like Obama ain't speaking, Trump ain't speaking out of his own term, out of his own volition. Kamala Harris don't be speaking out of their own volition. None of these politicians, you can clearly tell someone writing a script, and whoever writing a script is trying to uphold something, and the way that they're uphold something, they got books to teach them how to do it. And then for the most part, you will start to see it's burnt out now. It's like it's burnt out. Like they wouldn't even be able to make another kind of Bart Simpson right now. Start telling things, and then once things happen, people will be like, damn, the directors and the producers of Bart Simpson was smart. How did they know that? They won't be able to get away with that right now. As soon as they do some shit like that, first thing people start saying is, the authors must got something to do with the government. That's the first thing people gonna start doing now. See, these like little examples. You know that they can't get away with how they used to get away with shit. You know what I'm saying? How they getting away with it, how they used to do shit is drying up. They burnt themselves out in the esoteric market grounds. The esoteric marketplace is like, it's so much synthetic stuff on their concession stand that people is tired of it, even if it was good. Just don't want that fruit no more. It's like, don't want that shit on that concession stand. Like, you just cannot sell me this shit. So it'll be a person who not even woke down here in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension and be acting out rejection energy. Because all of us as a spirit race right now is in like a different street, aka a different shift. So it could be a spirit down here that's still lost, and if they start getting attacked, still be rejecting and not even knowing they're rejecting. It's just natural. It's just the spirit be inside their spaceship. Their spaceship is the mind connected with the holy holy, all of our minds together. We on a different street. Then it play out as they body. They body say something different, do something different that's not expected. And whoever once was manipulating them, whether they're their family, friend, or associate, can't rock them to sleep like that no more. And things. Or if they're at business, white collar, blue collar, and maybe the manager and the boss had them in this type of stuff. A person might not know their hours was jumping all over the place because the boss got some type of favoritism relationship with this other person, and since you're not unaware of that, when you're off, this person is taking those hours that you're coming back and complaining about to other people not knowing what's going on. You get what I'm trying to say? But you might, let's say you come to work now and you ain't caught on, but let's say this person, you work, it's a day, maybe a Wednesday or Thursday, you work the same day as this person that's getting favoritism with this manager. So they know a little bit more than you of what's going on, right? They're going to have a conversation with you that got everything to do with how things start playing out that way in the first place. They may have been saying things making you accept something more than twice when they wanted to be off one day and they called you to take their hours because that's what the managers make y'all do. And that if you did it more than twice, in your mind, you probably thinking, I don't want to do it no more than that. This person probably had conversations with the manager like, yeah, this person, they want this day. And I don't want this day. Watch, I'm going to call off a third time and they ain't going to care to take that day. And they psyching it in the manager like, all right, well, they, without you even being involved. But they having another conversation with you that ain't got nothing to do with that conversation to make you accept it. They might be saying something about their family or something like that to make you be like, all right, I'll take that the third day. You don't know you got rocked to sleep. That's getting ready to be your main day that you don't even want, right? And then it might be a day, we're in a new shift now, right? They got away with that. But now we're in a new shift. You're going to go to work now, and they're going to have that same type of conversation you would have rocked to sleep, but it's going to be something that make you say no. It might be something to be like, well, I think my family matters more. But since I ain't going through what they going through, I still feel spiritually open. Let me make up something about my family going through something similar. Just to not say no, because I don't want to be, but to let them know I can't do it. Ask somebody else. And then you'll start getting crafty. And then you'll reject it in a way that rocked them to sleep, though, that it don't seem like you just said no in lying. You made up a good lie, but really spiritually is this you ain't want to do it no. So it's rejected. That's what is going to happen, even if you're not woke. You're the person that's not woke, but you're going to be rejecting some shit that been probably kicking your ass in the spiritual world and physically, rocking you to sleep, blindsiding you, backstabbing you. Check y'all friends. Check motherfuckers around y'all. But this was going on right now also. Your spirit automatically doing something without her trying because grandma back, Manitou is back, and then you just even being here. You have no choice but to walk with us. So you're on this street with us. You just might got a lot of clothes on and glasses on from they shit, but you have to see the sunlight different because we're on a different street. The wind blow a little different. The ship, you're in a different ship. So you might find yourself taking the glasses off for a few seconds, and then but put them back on. That's you getting back in your comfort zone. If it's the old out shift one. But you're going to start realizing, like, wait a minute, it feel good with the glasses off. Wait a minute for a second. It feel good with they versions of glasses, not the Ray-Bans. Or this feel good. You start looking at, oh, I can do this myself. Oh, fruit grow better here. Oh, I can plant my fruit here. And then that's when you're going to start to realize something's going to start pulling you back on another street to make you pay for rent again in those buildings. You know what I'm saying? Some gonna rock you to sleep. Some gonna be like, wait a minute, remember this, everybody, Africa. Remember this, something like Arabia. It's gonna be something waving some type of flag or something like that, trying to make you slide back over or something like that and pay esoteric rent. Put you back in spiritual debt. If y'all, I'm trying to teach y'all free math. They already did us like this, but just for us to even mix with everybody. But at the same time, it's in the spiritual world. We're all going through a new shift, and it doesn't matter if you're a foreigner here or not. You're going to be going through what I'm explaining right now, and take note to that so you can build on that, because you'll be able to sit back and be like, "Damn, I saved myself from a retarded outcome about something that I ain't even have to invest myself in." You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even worth that as an outcome. That wasn't even the thing to do. That wasn't nothing to absorb myself in and place this weird competition synthetic energy behind it. This weird, I'm the best energy. It ain't even going to feed me back. It's not even going to help my legacy. It's not even going to uplift my culture and uncripple us and shit like that. So a lot of times that let you know you in the spiritual world on that street that's getting bulldozed right now. That street get rejected and get remodeled and gentrified. You know what I'm saying? Anything we do down here, the Great Spirit do it on a greater scale. because people can't get away with nothing. So whatever we doing internally, outwardly down here, we only can go in our own mind and do that. But in the spiritual world, it's cities and states and esoteric Babylon getting gentrified right now. Yehovah tearing them all down, blowing them all, because grandma back down here. So Yehovah just tearing all them buildings down and shit like that and kicking them down and getting healthy again. So the more healthier we all getting together mentally is Yehovah having a healthy blood flow, and then we the blood cells acting that out on a micro scale for us. So he's getting up, feeling good again, taking the throne again, taking a seat again, feeling good, shitting out toxins, getting in the sweat lodge again, sweating out those parasitic toxins and shit like that. So a lot of the bad things that it ate and the spirits and the blood cells that was in those things blending in and fucking with us as blood is starting to get washed out, get cleansed out. You know what I'm saying? Cleansed out mentally, spirit, / soul, mind, and body. So soul, mind, and body, spirit, mind, and body. These getting all this. We're cleansing. We're only doing our thoughts after the Great Spirit. You know what I'm saying? So we all cleansing out. When the Great Spirit's sick, we sick. When we cleanse, the Great Spirit cleanse. So we become clean blood cells again, pure blood cells again, walking on water, nippy walks. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, this puts you in a situation of knowing that we craft the atmosphere and the environment. And since on the holy scale, it just take longer as a process with that creation, mutation, evolution. But this is something that we do on a faster pace for ourselves. So we could be that walking image of what's coming to be and walking expression of the people where they came from, knowing where they're going. The holy ones, you know what I'm saying, God's children. So with this type of thought, that lets you know where I come from spiritually as a space. My spaceship flew, make this star, and then be in this existence with you to show you where we all can go. And then for the most part, if you relate to me, then you're God's children. If you don't relate to me, then you're separating yourself. And whatever your concept of God, devil, whatever, you're just lost in your mind, copying people. You going to hell. You ain't part of shit. So this is why you probably lack layers in your current life right now, and you're still searching for fruit, which is probably why you're aware of me, but at the seed of being negative, at the seed of being a hater first, at the seed of trying to block me first, at the seed of trying to, even on a broader scale, government shadow banning me, people in government shadow banning me, and things of that nature. So for the most part, this is people who have to reap what they sow, not them in their mind thinking this is how they're checking other people's ego based upon a synthetic concept that was built off ego, that egotistical people trying to control. And that's not the world, and it never been the world. And anyone who's lost in that are out of their minds, and the time going to test and show it. You know what I'm saying? It's the test of times. So it's always a universal government. You don't have no authority over that. You know what I'm saying? You don't even know how you was born. You was just born, and you ain't gonna remember dying. But the only thing you gonna know is the experience, and your experience might lose and slip from the concept of birth or dying, and that's all you can experience. The forms that you can remember, not the forms of experience itself. So yeah, you could develop a memory of birth. You could develop a memory of death. You'll always be outside of it, always trying to experience it, always just in your own mind though. You know what I'm saying? So you're in your own mind creating things, thinking that it's outside of you, and it looked like death, it looked like birth, but since you inside of it, you the one only can experience it. So you can't never come into existence. You in your own hell. You in your own existence, your own world. You know what I'm saying? That's hell. And people don't need to be going there based upon creating synthetic things to die for. It is not even smart to be a foreigner at this point, no matter how much money you got invested. It is not smart to be a foreigner and you're fighting for America. It's not yours. The sun didn't make you here. So you're going against nature in some type of way. That's hell. You're lost. So the only thing you can make up, we're not in the shift that makes sense anymore. A person to be like, my family died for us to be native here. We got property here. This street, my general family named it, or whatever the case may be. None of that exists. You're not going to be able to take none of that with you. None of the money y'all made from that. None of the claim, authority, and the attention and praise from that. None of that. Just, you're going to go to the same place them people went. The motivation, thoughts, and feelings they built up to do those things in the first place. They only able to do that with themselves now. This is why we're able to see we in a time, a lot of them ain't even come back. They ain't, none of them ain't saying I'm back. And the people who saying I'm that don't even believe in it. So what do you believe in? What is you doing? If it's just a synthetic thing, and a synthetic thing, we have results and examples of showing you that's how you go to hell. You know what I'm saying? You can't get out of it. We don't even have no whole white government anymore. They blend in a lot of people, and then you have a small pocket of rich people, making it seem like, but it's a coping mechanism. To be the 1% of anything mean you're like, that's it for you. That don't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? Any nation you trying to build it up to 100%. The weakest link is the strongest. That 1% come from a starting point of already being deserted. So these are coping mechanisms. I'm 1% because I'm the richest. I'm 1% because I'm the no. You're 1% because you didn't lost yourselves, and y'all the smallest percentage. And what y'all did to lose yourselves, you gotta cope with the point y'all did it for, money. But ain't none of that get ready to go with you. And so this is a whole evaporating race going on right now and shit like that. I don't know what these people start thinking, but it's just weird. But we see a lot of weirdo stuff being played out in the world. Met Galas. We see the stuff with what's in their nature. Christian, Catholic, colonizing churches and boats. The lion tongue, being crusaders, blowing up lands, fighting over property, and not coming up with a way that it could be convenient. So they shouldn't be in charge of that in the first place. They never was. Their starting points is degenerate. Their starting points ain't bringing the world together. See what I'm saying? So at some point we can't get past that. They're not even civilized humans. This world we in is not civilized because of the people that's making y'all laws and stuff. That's why nothing's civilized. That's why they get ready to have the three forms of bathrooms. So a boy could be in a woman's bathroom. So this is white boys doing stuff, making the world weak so they can do stuff that they always wanted to do, but they ain't got to go extreme with guns anymore, stuff like that. So when you hear about it being a transgender bathroom, that's an excuse for white men that ain't doing that to be in women's bathrooms, right? When they create phones and stuff, and then they let's say like even OnlyFans and stuff, right? That's white boys creating software programs so they can see women and stuff like that. Like everything we're getting is based off white boys' lack that they couldn't do, and they have to find alternatives. This is how we're getting. So they're taking our tax dollars, but they don't know that we're in a time where you're only self-projecting. This is why such of our money go towards stupid stuff like holiday pet days, sex dolls, all this stuff, the pornography business and stuff. This is white man taking our tax dollars, but forgetting that they're self-reflecting, creating a world that they can do their pervert stuff more easy, but then create laws around it and have to convert enough people to make us think that's the world. But then when you look at Bibles and stuff that they stole from people's culture, you will start to see that why are y'all preaching something y'all don't practice? How's the government in charge of everybody having a Christian Bible? And but the government is also in charge of it being so many vampire movies, it being so much priest playing with booty holes. It's being so, you see what I'm saying? So you'll start to see that, oh, y'all taking somebody's good qualities in their culture, demonizing the stuff you didn't like from it that probably went against you, and then trying to replace it and play that God, and now it's a God that accept y'all perversions and shit like that. So a God become a Lucifer thing. You see what I'm saying? And you can see that seed being played out through whoever's spending our money on things, and if it's platform, who else in charge of it but the government? So it's just showing you that the government is being negative on purpose. You know what I'm saying? They being negative on purpose. They being ignorant on purpose. So you have to look at it like that. So don't ever think these people got you in their best interest. You have to speak up so y'all could come at the round table, not sit there and act stupid and retarded so they could be like, well, this person dumb, so let me act dumb to be the smarter one. You know what I'm saying? And that's what, they are already dumb, but they act dumb like you to be the smarter one. So you'll be dumb creating something. They'll be the dumber one who can't create but be smarter than you. Be the only one getting paid off your dumbness. That's supposed to be smart. Now, you're the only one getting paid off something that's devalued that you're supposed to value. So that's why as soon as you buy a car and drive it off the lot, it gets devalued. As soon as you create some creativity, they take it, platform it, water it down. They getting the most money off of it, and then you can't get no money off of it no more once it's watered down and it look lame and it's no longer a trend. So you see what I'm saying? They drink it dry. They milk it dry. They milk everything from me. They took everything from me. Took everything. What's that? They milk you dry. But what you do in the physical, you do to yourself in the spiritual. You milk yourself dry. There's going to be no atmosphere, no sun. It's going to be just the only ability you can condense a breath out of a thought and feeling. And you're going to have so many thoughts and feelings that ain't got nothing that's synthetic. Your breath is synthetic. It ain't connected with an external, so you're in your small atmosphere. Ain't going to be no sun there, so it's going to seem like you in a cocoon or a cave or a tomb. And then where your spiritual line of race came from started in those type of lands with caves. But at the same time, it's going back to that spiritual. Just in your body as a spirit is your own cave you stuck in. And that mind is going to be all the images inside the body. So you're stuck in your own body as a mummy, and you're stuck in your own mind, constantly trying to produce the organs to be alive again, but can't do it, it's dead, and only having those thoughts that made those organs to do it, not using when you was alive the mind that made these organs to do new things. So you only gonna know how to remake how you already made this body, aka you can't find birth, can't find death. You only know how to make the experiences of what you did outwardly. You only know how to look for those familiar things. Can't never find a new experience that lead into what birth is, a new birth and expansion actually is, and death out of that exit and enter in quality actually is. You won't be able to find it. You won't be able to find death. You're gonna live forever in your own hell because you bit the wrong fruit. So now you tried to be God. You can only be God in your own world. You had the wrong aspect of it. You try to be a great spirit in your own limited subjective concept that you only developed that seed being around others that had to do the same thing you do to be here. So you can't use others to develop a feeling like, I like this feeling, and then think that you're not going to have to deal with that when you die and just deal with the opposite side of it. You see what I'm saying? It's like going to your own world, coming up with a thought. I can convince myself that if I die, I'm going to this heaven. But that seed of feeling only can be made with other sentient beings. You can only feel good when you get a response from other people who share similar mental and organs as you as a spiritual root race. So if you're in a world where you lack that, that's the dream world. But you develop your whole imagination about your dream world based on other people's validation and validity. That's GLL. You lost in other people's mind. So for the most part, it puts you into a situation where this is how you get stuck. Because when you built up that energy, this what heaven is, based off what you convince others to make you feel when you was woke. When you die and go to that world, it's nothing like what you're talking about, because for the most part, that's why you built it up, to externalize it, to know what it is. So you ain't gonna have no externalizing energy. Your only thing real is the experience. So you're just gonna be having a whole bunch of thoughts and feelings on how to do something you can't do no more. So it might even play out as a dream of you thinking you're doing it and can't convince somebody you're doing it. Doing it, convincing people you're doing it. And you're just gonna do that forever. You know what I'm saying? Until you want to spiritually evaporate or whatever the case may be. And once we go through so many shifts, you're going to start. Awareness is a hell of a thing. You're going to start wanting to cut off your awarenesses, because there's going to be certain things you are aware of that represent unfamiliarity. But when you was alive, familiarity was something you had grace towards. But you don't want nobody to see you no other way. That's that ego trying to play God. How this play out in your experiences in your dream, especially once you die, anything that's unfamiliar is going to seem like a nightmare to you. Not something that it was a seed, and if you was alive, it's something that would have been apparent that became familiar with you. And you would have been on a train of thought, a line of reasoning of a new experience, and knowing that everything shouldn't be so ego or narcissistic to something. So it play out in your dream as whatever you don't like that ain't got nothing to do with unfamiliarity. As soon as you start to spark a seed of unfamiliarity, because awareness is a hell of a thing, you're going to want to add another awareness to something you're done being aware of. Soon as you do that, it's going to be unfamiliarity, because you ain't trained yourself with gaining comfortability with unfamiliarity, getting out of your dislikes and being more relatable when you was alive. And then that unfamiliarity going to play out through the lens of the things you're only familiar with that you dislike. Now you're running from your demons. Now you're running from your own ghosts. In reverse, If you would have been alive, you would have knew how to deal with it. Since you're in your own dream, you making more thoughts to get more imploded in your own self again, to get to that state of wanting the spirit to evaporate. So you're going to be like, I don't like that thought. But you really just think that you're running from something unfamiliar or whatever the case may be. You just think that's real. But it's really a side of you that you're not dealing with, and you're trying to run from it, that really leads you out of a dream. But now you're getting deeper in a dream, creating more thoughts and feelings on how to escape it. Going deeper in a dream and running away from the light. Because when you was alive, anything that represent the light, for you to be lighter in density, light in photons, get out of something you was heavy in and motivate you to do something negative, you was running away from. You never wanted to go into a lighter situation, so it's an easier way of doing something, even amongst things that you dislike, people, places, and things. You was running away from that when you was alive. You're going to be running away from that in your dream. But the only thing is real is the experience. So in your dream, you're going to be seeing it in a way of, you should run away from it, and that's going to really be your only way out. Facing your fears, facing yourself, facing your negativity, facing your hatred, facing who you really are. And let's see if you can get out yourself and make another mind and bend in and make another well-oiled running machine organ that's more layered up. And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Real shit. We in a new world. Flight boss, bitch, you know. For sure. You know, listen to the mind of an Terry's moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel. And I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. I'm doing open panel tonight, too. And do some planning. So we do some mild meats and this motherfucking shit and get to, oh, yeah, why, yes, why, ray, yeah, oh, get the spirits in the world. Real shit.